Hello, my name is Rein Zobel. I'm the creative director and co-founder at Maru VR. I am from Estonia. And I'll tell you a little bit about our studio and our game. First about me, about my background. Before I started working on games, I worked in film. I finished film school, made short films, and worked in commercials as a director. And I was always also very passionate about games. I co-host a podcast in Estonia. It's called Puhata ja mängida. Basically the longest running, oldest gaming podcast in Estonia. We have been doing it every week for 13 years. So basically I'm the guy who can talk about games for longer than anybody wants to listen. In 2016 I co-founded a company called Maru VR, and in the beginning we did client work, a lot of VR experiences for training, for marketing, various kind of location-based things for museums and other kind of attractions. And then at one point we pivoted to becoming a game studio for several reasons. One of those was that we really wanted to make a game, but also we wanted to make a product and not just be like a client service company. That was more like a business decision because as a client service company or just service company, you are always have to be looking for another project. You never know when a project will arrive, and this makes it very hard for the company to grow, and also the people working in this company to get better and kind of specialize. When we started working on our first game, Bootstrap, which I'm gonna talk about in a minute, but when we first started, we had just like 1 or 2 people in the team besides the founders. By now, the team is 15 people who work on Bootstrap Island full-time, and some contractors. And the first game that we started working on, Bootstrap Island, is a highly realistic and intense virtual reality survival game, which is inspired by Robinson Crusoe, Treasure Island, and other kind of Age of Sail classical novels. As some of you might know, it's a good rule to, when you make a first game, to do something simple and very limited in scope. So maybe an open world survival roguelike virtual reality game with a lot of different kind of systems, realistic interactions, and high fidelity graphics isn't the best idea for the first game. But this is what we started working on, and we have been doing it now for years and years. We released it into early access on February 2024, so almost 2 years ago. And currently it's only out on Steam and only on PC, because that's where Steam is. We have some other platforms planned, but I can't talk about them yet. And we plan to go full release in the beginning of next year. And I want to show you 2 short trailers about the game. The first one is the trailer for our last patch, where we added a huge new area, which is called the Riverlands, which is a place where the player can finally be a little bit more stress-free, because it's a very stressful game, and they have all the drinking water that they need. So let's see the trailer. Do we have sound? Yes. So we update the game every, I think, 4 or 5 months with one major update. So this was the 4th one. And the next one will be called Visions, and I have a short teaser for that. So in this update, we are going to add a sickness system. So when you eat unsafe food or drink unsafe water, then there is a sickness metric that will go down, and this will cause hallucinations and other problems. But also, this is basically the first update where we focus more on the story part. So you get to know your main character's backstory. And through the hallucinations and the voiceovers that you hear, you learn more about his personal traumas and problems that he had before he came to the island. So yeah, with this type of systemic survival game, it's a good approach to kind of add layers, because all these systems interact with each other, and while each system by itself might not be very compelling as a gameplay, but because they play off of each other, and this is a realistic and immersive game, then you have all this kind of interesting emergent situations. So this is the last update before the full release. So currently, yeah, we are still in early access. In last year, we were one of the few games, which were VR games, which was released in 2024 and was in the top sellers list, the best of Steam. Currently, we have 820 reviews with a very positive 84% rating, which is a pretty good result for a early access survivor game, VR survival game on Steam. And something that we have kind of planned since the original conception of the game, but we are very happy to see it work, is that content creators really like this sort of game because it looks realistic, and the things that you do also are very hard to understand just by watching somebody play the game. So this allows for YouTubers or streamers or TikTokers to create very unique content that fits their character, if they want to be very serious about their content, or if they want to make it very whimsical or funny. They have an option to use this game to create different kind of content. We have been very impressed by the creativity that goes into some of these videos, like people physically playing characters from movies, whether it's the Jack Sparrow or Gollum from Lord of the Rings, and kind of play as these characters, and this is very entertaining to see. We were also quite surprised to receive the Estonian Game of the Year award last year, especially since the game had just released into early access, and we considered it to be kind of minimum viable product, but we take it as confidence in our team and our vision. And yeah, since we have the full launch next year, this will very much affect our plans and future. So yeah, look forward to the next release and the full release, the next update and the full release. So this is Bootstrap Island. My name is Rein, and thank you for your attention.
Hello, everyone. Very happy to be here. Yeah, we're representing Latvia, Color Gray Game Studio, and I will try to speedrun our journey of creating both Golden Idol games, but also will share a bit what it is for those who don't know. Where's the clicker? Here it is. So briefly, yeah, I'm Andrejs, co-founder, program studio manager, and then in the audience is also my brother Ernest, the other co-founder, in charge of visual design, and we've both been in charge of story, content, everything that happens in the games. So yeah, let's start by watching the trailer. And this trailer has a bit of interesting backstory. At first, we tried to self-publish, market the game on our own, and we created our trailer, which didn't gather any attention. But then when our publisher Playstack made a trailer, they made it a bit snappier. And let's watch that version. So yeah, this trailer worked much better, and I think it's a kind of nice example of a challenge. If most of fun or gameplay things happen in players' heads, it's hard to create a video or GIF of it. So instead, just go crazy. I guess is a takeaway. Okay, so yeah, let's start. The inception, the idea of Golden Idol appeared in 21. When me and my brother, we decided, let's prototype some game ideas, and thought, okay, what are some problems in the industry that are kind of unsolved? And one of the ideas was, hey, there's this game, The Return of the Obra Dinn, which was very critically successful, like a great detective game, but kind of feels like nobody has followed it. And maybe there's opportunity to make games similar to that, but make it more accessible, maybe make it a bit of like a riff on point-and-click adventure game, like try to capitalize on that. So yeah, we started prototyping, testing, and finally arrived at a concept which we felt worked nicely. It was a 18th century supernatural mystery game, which for those who don't know, the game consists of numerous cases, 12 in the first game, where you explore one or more these kind of static vignettes, gather clues, and then you fill in those clues in texts to solve a mystery. And ideally during gameplay you have some kind of big aha moment when you play. So we built the demo version. We started gathering wish lists, and we realized that okay, we're really bad at it, or it's really hard. Like it took us like 1 month full-time work to gather around 300 wish lists, and we realized that is not sustainable. We're not actually building the game; we're just working on this alien marketing thing. Instead, let's look for a publisher. We participated in Steam Next Fest in a bunch of events, and eventually we got approached by Playstack London, and they were at that time best known for game Mortal Shell. And they kind of charmed us with their honest approach where they said, oh, your game, like, it looks rough, it's gonna be very hard to market, and like the genre is hard to comprehend. But we had such fun playing it that we just want to still bet on this. And we thought, okay, yeah, you sound like honest guys, let's roll. And so we spent the next 9 months finishing the game and published it in autumn of 22. And to the surprise of us, it got very positive critical reception. We won Independent Games Festival Excellence in Design Award. We got a BAFTA debut game nomination. Polygon Portal named us as third best game of the year. PC Gamer gave us best narrative of the year award. So definitely the game resonated with people. It was super satisfying. And at that moment, as we didn't have like very clear plan what to do next because we didn't know if game would have flopped or not. We just decided, okay, let's make a DLC. Well, we figured out what to do with our lives. Let's just make a DLC. And we realized we are bad at making small content, and we couldn't fit our story in one DLC, so we split it into two DLCs, which both again performed very well. As I've written here, 50% of main game buyers have bought the DLCs, which apparently is a high benchmark, and they were very warmly received. But in the kind of like background of while we were working on DLCs, a place that came to us and said, Golden Idol's like really exciting. Let's make a sequel. Like while people have not forgotten about it, like let's keep doing this. We want more Golden Idol. And again, we thought, yeah, why not? Let's do this. So we started working on the second game. Second game, we set it in 1970s. We kind of put in it ideas that we didn't have previously. The challenge was that there was ambition that it has to be bigger. Second game in the end has almost twice as much content, but also the timeline is a bit tighter because our publisher had signed a deal with Netflix. And Netflix were kind of also interested in this story-rich game, and they wanted to explore episodic content. So the game not only is published, but afterwards, every 2 months, we release a DLC for a total of 4 DLCs. So yeah, building second game was very different, quite challenging experience. We had to find lots more creators from all over the world. And instead of just 2 indie developers working on that game, now we were kind of managing lots of people and their work. That was a much harder project, but yeah, in the end we published it last autumn. Again, it didn't have such critical acclaim as first game, but it's been still very positively received. And just 2 months ago, we finished the last DLC, The Curse of the Last Reaper, which is again very interesting experience because we let our other creators kind of lead these projects, which means all of them have different style, vibe, different direction. Like we have a sci-fi story, we have pirate story, we have weird cult detective story. Like they are, each of them is quite unique, which is very nice because it's one of our fears when building a story game. Are you not starting to repeat yourself? And then lastly, kind of, yeah, the current point, which there are 2 things of which I'm very happy. I mean, there's lots of things I'm happy about, but one is sold quite a lot of copies, which means we can keep making games. We won't be making third game now. Maybe we will return to Golden Idol in the future, but the next game we want to try something different. But yeah, nonetheless, sales have been very nice for kind of niche genre. And then lastly, what I find most exciting is that we've kind of created, second thing is, what I love is that PC Gamer has for 2 years put us in their top 100 games of all time, which again feels very nice, this critical acclaim. But lastly, there are a bunch of games which are now Golden Idol-likes. I think Opera didn't create a following because perhaps its gameplay and story mechanics, they were too integrated. People didn't see how they could do something similar without doing exactly the same. But when you look at Golden Idol, it's very easy to see how you can make Golden Idol game. Just draw your pictures, gather phrases, and input puzzles. And now there are already a couple of Golden Idol likes received. I think this is the case of the worst day ever, and this is Little Problems. And as you can see, they are very different theme and vibes-wise games. And as far as we know, there are more Golden Idol likes coming, and that feels amazing and unreal. Thank you for your attention.
Hi, so my name is Mingailė, like it was mentioned, and we finished our journey through the Baltics here in Lithuania, as we are now, and with a game that is inspired by Lithuania and it takes place in Lithuania. So this is very beautiful wrap-up, I would say myself. But first, let me tell you, who are we? So I'm from a team, Tag of Joy, an indie studio that's been around for about 12 years. And mainly what we focus now on is exactly making adventure games. Crowns and Pawns is going to be a great example of what we're trying to do now. We try to put a modern take on the familiar genre, and that's where Crowns and Pawns come in. Crowns and Pawns is a charming mystery point-and-click adventure that is inspired by Lithuanian history, by European history. It takes place, some of it, in Lithuania. You can see real-life locations. You can go and find this exact church here in Lithuania if you're visiting Vilnius. And it invites you to explore legendary stories. There's a king conspiracy. There's detectiveness. Honestly, let's just take a look at the trailer first.
Finally! What took you so long? Dana, I need your help.
What's this?
It's the letter from a law firm informing me of grandfather's last will.
That explains your speedy surprise visit.
Huh. That doesn't seem right. So, what is this place?
That is my alma mater, Vilnius University.
Are you the one I'm supposed to meet here?
Who knows? Perhaps.
Breaking into a church. Feeling like a true adventurer. And, not gonna lie, a little bit like a criminal.
Don't worry, it's gonna be fine. Crowns and Pawns, Kingdom of Deceit. Coming on May 6th, 2022.
So that pretty much sums up the game, I believe, the trailer. But to tell you more about it, the story of the game follows Milda, a Lithuanian-born but living in Chicago, who unexpectedly receives a house in Lithuania from her grandfather's will. She goes to Europe. She finds the house completely trashed, documents everywhere, weird old documents dating back to the 15th century. And then some guy wants these documents, and suddenly she's dragged into this dangerous search for a long-lost mysterious relic. Essentially, Crowns and Pawns is a point-and-click adventure, but we try to put a modern spin on the genre by adding more features that could attract a wider audience and just make the game feel more modern in a way. For example, we have character customization, which is not often found in the genre, which we use not only for fun but for puzzles. There's also a phone that you can text your friends with, build relationships, or use it with a notes app. You can combine and make combine clues and solve detective-like puzzles. We also strive for a high-quality visual experience. We have 2D, beautifully hand-painted backgrounds that we blend with 3D characters, sort of creating this 2.5D experience, which helps us have the game look, well, some would even describe it as a AA-looking game because it's such a high-quality looking game, even though we're an indie team. And because of this combination, we have modern features like real-time shadows or this parallax effect, which again makes the game feel modern and quite alive. The characters themselves are also really coming to life with the animations. We have lip syncs, we have a lot of facial expressions, and that way, again, the characters come to life really well. We also had a chance to work with some well-known names with voice actors. We believe that in a story-driven game, a narrative-driven game, voice acting is very important because it just elevates the game to a whole new level. We tried our best to create great voice acting, and I believe we really managed to do this because we had well-known actress Erin Yvette to play the main character, and it's when you have a professional actress working on a game, it once again just creates this high-level experience. Now, speaking of the music of the game, this was also a very fun part of the game development process. We had the opportunity to work with an award-winning German composer, Daniel Faros. But that's not the most interesting thing about the music in the game. Like I mentioned, the game is inspired by Lithuanian history and places, and we also have Lithuanian folk music integrated into the game. You can hear some of it now. And you might wonder, why does this sound Lithuanian? And yes, this is actually a very rare Lithuanian instrument called birbynė, which our audio composer was very excited to work with. But it was quite difficult to track it down because apparently this is a very rare instrument and only a few people in Lithuania make it. But now, this instrument is being heard by a lot of people, because we put it in our game. So firstly, we released our game on PC, but and usually point and clicks are like mouse and keyboard kind of games, but we believe, once again, to expand our audience, to make the game feel modern, we wanted to have gamepad controls and not just, be able to play the game with a gamepad, but we tried to make it so the game looks like it was made for a gamepad. One big change from similar games was that when you use a gamepad, instead of controlling like a mouse or the environment, clicking on the environment, you are controlling the character directly, which makes the game feel, I'm really repeating myself with the word modern here, but we believe that's exactly what we did with our game. We made it feel more modern and more attractive for a wider audience. And now the game is released on all major platforms. We have it on PC. A year later, we released on Nintendo Switch. And this year, we have it released on Xbox and PlayStation. So, this is a great bunch of experience we have under our belts now. And I suppose this is the proof that the game did turn out quite well. And the reason why I'm talking about it here on the stage today. The game was released in 2022, but last year, this year actually, in the Lithuanian Game Awards, we received the Game of the Decade award, which I suppose means that this is the best game created in Lithuania in the past decade. Not my words, but the judges. But I also want to take note that even though we received awards here in Lithuania, like this year or the year of our release in 2022, we got Game of the Year. We also got recognition outside of Lithuania, and this is a hard award to win already because there's a lot of great games released in Lithuania every year. but we also got recognition outside of it. This Best Gameplay Award came to us from adventure gamer community, the genre community. But overall, the game was very well received by various press outlets. Our score on Metacritic is 78, which we consider a great achievement. This is essentially, besides like smaller projects, this is essentially our first premium game, full big project. So we're very happy with how it turned out. And besides the players that enjoy it, the press that enjoy it, the awards you get, there are also sometimes people that you look up to while you make the games, people from the genre. And when they think it's a great game, that's when you know you probably did a pretty good job. In the point-and-click adventure community, there are some bigger, well-known names like games like Broken Sword series and the Monkey Island series. These are just one of the biggest names in the genre. And we got to show our game to the creators of these games, and they actually commented on the game, and they gave us some feedback, but they also simply loved it. And we're very excited about that. And this is very beautiful segue to, I want to take note of this Bill Tiller, a creator of a vampire story game and the artist on The Curse of Monkey Island. And if you would ask me what we're up to now, we're actually working on a new adventure game, point-and-click adventure game, which we use all the experience we gathered by making crowns and pawns, all the technical base and the feedback. And we get to work with the Bill Tiller, the industry legend himself. And that is essentially because we did such a good job with crowns and pawns. And this is our success story, is that when you make something good, when you put effort, when you love what you make, you can essentially work with people you admired once. So thank you for listening, and look forward to what's next from Tag of Joy.
Well, besides releasing the game, are you thinking further away? And specifically, there was a question, will you stay in VR, or are you thinking to do a non-VR version?
Interesting questions. Yeah, right now we are focusing on the full release. We have several thoughts about the future. As for VR, VR is a very interesting market, and it changes very fast. Business-wise, it might seem wise to do other things, but one of the reasons why we are in VR is that it's such an interesting new medium, and we want to be the explorers, the kind of like the early film people who discovered rules that we now know and take for granted, and we like to explore this new space. So leaving all that behind would be sad, but at the same time we also have the business reality to think about. If we want to make any kind of bigger studio, I mean, yeah, we're all from small countries. Even 15 people is pretty big. So yeah, you need to take into considerations a lot of things. So very vague answer, but yeah, we're thinking about all the options.
Thanks. I want to ask Ernests. I just remembered that I read that you made also like an exhibition of art connected to the game, or?
Yes, I made.
How was that? Can you tell a bit more?
Oh, it was art gallery in Riga, Gallery Alma. I kind of made several exhibitions before my game development days, but yeah, they approached me and asked to make some game-inspired exhibition, and yeah, it was especially about second game, about Rise, and Rise was kind of inspired by this painting and sort of like physical mediums, and now I made like physical paintings that kind of made full circle and returned to physical paintings from the digital paintings in Rise, and some 3D prints and sculptures, sort of like that. So yeah.
Thanks. And yeah, maybe Andrejs, for you, what's the future further away?
So we had internal discussion where we agreed we want to do something else than Golden Idol, but what we know is we will be making some kind of narrative-rich mystery game. That's what we are sure we will do. Yeah, can't really tell much more than that at this point.
Okay, yeah. Of course, it's hard to talk about further future. It was not. I guess it's also for you question, but how come your game is both ugly and extremely likable? Sorry, but that's the wording.
I will actually. I have an answer. Because it's memorable, it's striking. Games can be beautiful, but extremely plain, like they don't stand out. It looks like, as you know, there's something like this Unreal Engine look, which you see and you immediately think not of the game, but of the Unreal Engine. And instead, we have something different, yeah.
Yeah, and our goal was to make games that is like immediately recognizable by its screenshot.
And the change of style, can you tell a bit more? How did you decide to change the style for the second game?
Yeah, we backed away from pixel art because it was it's more natural style for me and other artists that do slots, and also it was fit more toward like new animation techniques with spine, this 2D skeletal mesh deform animations, which pixel art kind didn't. It was not friendly. Which was not pixel art friendly.
Okay, maybe we have someone from the audience.
Hello, everyone. A question to every one of you. What is the correlation, if any, to critical success, like awards, accolades, to sales or uptick in sales?
Who has the most awards will answer first.
Well, you all told about your awards.
I mean, I can start if no one, but it really depends on sales depends on way more than awards, I would say, in a way, because sales depend on the genre. You have different expectations depending on your genre. Sales also depend. We already noticed from, I think, movies that what judges like and what players like doesn't always correlate. It has some of it, but doesn't fully correlate. For example, our sales were essentially what we expected it to be, in a way, which is good. Already that's good. But we did the calculations, basically what we could expect from the genre, from the first game, and our sales was satisfactory. Because of this, but the awards we received were, I believe it's much more looked into the quality. The judges look at your effort, they see the work you put in, they know what it means to make a game like this, or just a game in general. They can see all of this. Players just take the full experience. Like some awards we got for different categories, and they just inspect this one category, right? But players just experience the full game, so they have to basically at least enjoy all of the parts. And they don't always care if the game is beautiful or if the game is correctly made, let's say. They just care that it's fun. Like this is their game is a great example. I would say, like someone said, ugly but memorable, because yeah, that's what matters, and that's why, again, it can correlate, but it's not necessarily gonna happen.
Thanks.
Yeah. I think it's a very fair question that you can have a wildly successful game which has no critical acclaim. Like I don't think Megabonk will win lots of prizes in IGF or wherever. And conversely, I easily can see games which have critical awards, but they don't translate to sales. But where I see kind of more some kind of not only correlation but some causality is that if a game is critically acclaimed, it's possible that some sort of like influential social node will pick you up. Like in our case, games journalist Jason Schreier picked up our game, and he has like loads of followers. He's very influential, and he really loved the game. So kind of increases probability that someone important will grab your game, and yeah, that's where value can appear.
I can say that the day when we received the Game of the Year award in Estonia, we had 0 sales on Steam. So that was a really poor correlation there. But yeah, I think it used to be different. It used to be that when even a big game, when it came out back in the days, then the review on GameSpot or whatever was basically the only way of knowing if the game is any good or not. But right now you have so many creators and so many different sources on social media where, or just Steam. Steam itself is also, I mean, this is something that definitely affects whether people buy your game or not. If they see a red score, then that means keep away, even though it might be for some completely arbitrary reason, some political review bombing or whatever. So there's definitely a correlation, but there's a lot of factors at play.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Also question for everyone regarding publishing. So from different perspectives, do you think it's necessary to have a publisher, or or not necessary? And how are you looking also in the future? Will you continue to work with publishers, or are you thinking to try different type yourself, or
Yeah, I'll start because for us it's the easiest. We're the self-publishers. When we started working on Bootstrap Island, we basically did some market research and found that out of 20 most successful VR games, 18 are self-published. So we had very few successful publishers in that field to even choose from. And when we saw what kind of publishing deals actually were circling around and get offered, then we knew that this is not a viable option. But I can see how in indie games, especially because there's just so many games and so many good games, it's so hard to find out the ones that you like. And this is definitely where a good publisher can be a force multiplier and help you with marketing and communication and Q&A and polish and just reaching your audience, the audience for your game. So I would definitely caution against going into a publishing deal without thinking it through and without considering other options. But I think a good publishing relationship might be very, very valuable.
Yeah, I would agree here, is that it really depends on the publisher, of course. And essentially there are two things you can need a publisher for. It's the funding and the marketing side. We work with a publisher, and I think after our experience, besides all the various factors that happen, but essentially having a publisher, especially if it's your first game, has a lot of advantages because, for example, the platform, we released our game on all major platforms, and that was a big part of the publisher. They have relations, they have first-party relations, and they help us publish on there. But also on PC, the game is available on Steam, Epic, GOG, and even I think Mac Store. So again, all of these were thanks to the publisher because they have connections. We had a Steam daily deal a month or two after, 2 months maybe or 3 after the release, and that boosted our sales for that day definitely. And once again, the publisher had connections, and that's why it happened. Up to this day, they handle sales, they handle bundles, and it just takes load off of you, especially when you don't have connections and you just want to release a game and see what happens. So there are advantages. Yes, definitely be cautious what deal you take and all of those things. But now, especially indie publishers, they are very nice and open usually. Most known publishers, indie publishers, have like their deals openly public now. Like you can just go and read the deals. So just find the right one for you. And for your first game, it is a good idea, I believe, if you think you need this help. For future games, we already have some of the experience, we at least know of the process, so we would probably consider this project by project, because some projects can push themselves and you can self-publish, some projects need a little push from a publisher, so I think we are open to both options, once again, project by project.
Thanks.
I think publisher is fine if it's not a bad or hostile publisher. Publishers are risky proposition for sure. Like you should always be careful how you pick and negotiate with them. But in our case, we ideally want to continue working with a publisher, firstly because we like our collaboration, or we would want to find an equivalent one in future. Just because we want to focus on development, we don't want to deal with all the publishing things. We don't want to build our marketing branch in our company. Maybe if we had different ambitions, we'd say, okay, now we want to self-publish, but we kind of don't.
Also, since market is very volatile, you want something that does marketing all the time through the year, not like you publish a game, market it, then after 2 years publish next, and world has changed at that point, so your experience may prove to be worthless at that point.
Yeah, thanks. We're coming to an end, so last question. As in the previous talk, do you play games yourself? Do you have time, and do you have anything from recent games which you liked and which you can recommend, but not your game?
Okay, I'll start as a quick. Last thing I played yesterday is game Farmer Was Replaced, which is a farming coding game. It's pretty cool, yeah, I would recommend it. But also I have very little time to play games. Wish I had more.
Yeah, also not so many time to play games, but among the games that I played is they kind of gender related to all the stuff, but Stage Antiquities, and also a relatively less popular game like Mingailė, which also has this very unique mood and this photo scanned art style that I also liked. Yeah, that's it.
I have time to play games somehow, I guess. I don't know. I always find time, let's say. And I play a lot of various games, but I do try to check out the indie games more often, and I recently got a Steam Deck, so I'm trying to find games to be fun on Steam Deck. And I also like atmospheric games that come out in autumn, so one of my latest released favorite game would be Strange Horticulture. It's an indie game where you handle antiques. No, Horticulture was the first game. Strange Antiques, that's the second game, yeah. And the latest game, if you check what I played on Steam Deck, would be Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion. It's a fun game. I only played it for like half an hour yet, but it's really fun. It has great writing. That's a great inspiration for comedy writing, I would say. So yeah, small games like that.
I also recently fell in love with a Steam Deck. I've never been a console gamer or a handheld gamer, but oftentimes I find myself on a couch playing Steam Deck, listening to an audiobook. Recently, the Devolver Digital's Baltics Bit and Deep Rock Galactic Survivors. These are some very good games to play while listening to a podcast or audio game. And I just played the Battle Royale mode of the new Battlefield. That was also pretty fun. Almost got first place on quads, but close second.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. It was great pleasure to meet you here and to listen to the stories. Yeah.